so excited for Hello, my chickens. Oh god. Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well today. I bet you're probably wondering, where have you been? And even if you're not, I'm gonna tell you where I've been. As you can kind of tell, this is a new space, and there's been quite a few unfortunate events that have happened in the past 2 months, so I'm gonna explain real quick, and I'm gonna kind of talk about what I want to do with my channel now. So let's talk about it. So at the beginning of December, I kind of hit a slump. I had just finished The Way of Kings, and I don't know, it took a lot out of me, and finals were hitting me as well, so I was pretty burnt out, and I hit a little bit of a reading slump. So from the 14th, the day I finished finals, till about the 25th, I started packing up because I was leaving my family home. As some of you may know, I stayed home because of COVID the fall semester, but I have a job now, so I moved back to my college town. And yeah, I have an apartment now. Yeah, so during those 10 days I was packing. I moved the 26th, and then moving madness happened. And then on January 1st, my boyfriend started feeling a little unwell. So he got tested, and he tested positive for COVID. So I had COVID after that, and I had COVID during my birthday, January 6th. So it was pretty sad because I was like, you know what, I have COVID, but I can still get all dressed up and I can still film a video. Well, I couldn't because I had pink eye, and it kind of sucked. Oh, there's people walking by. Okay, whatever. So I got pink eye, and then yeah, so I did my 14 days of quarantine, and then I went out one day, got my groceries, and it took the entire day because again, I'd been at home for like 2 weeks, so I needed groceries, and it was a new apartment home, and I was really tired, so I was like, I'll open up my groceries tomorrow. So I wake up the next morning, I'm super happy, blah 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 blah. I'm opening up, the first thing I grab, my cat's toy. I got a cat toy, and I stabbed my thumb. You can't see it that well, but it's still kind of bruised. It's healing though, it's healing, but I can't really, as you can see, I like put my finger up like this, and I can't really do that yet, so it's still healing. So I stabbed my thumb, and this was, I think the 15th or the 16th. Yeah, I stabbed my thumb, had to go to urgent care. It sucked, and then my parents came down, so my boyfriend wasn't here. They came down to help me, and I still hadn't even finished unpacking because I had just gotten rid of COVID. And yeah, so that happened, and I was like, well, I don't really feel like filming, so blah, blah, blah. And then 3 days later, I woke up with like a really bad muscle spasm in my neck and like a pinched nerve. So I was like this, and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move without literally screaming out in pain. So I went to urgent care again. And then I had like 3 days of kind of being in pain, and then school started. So yeah, this week I've been at school and I've been working. So that's why I've been gone. I am so sorry, but I'm so excited to get back into it. My apartment is slowly but surely coming together, and I have so many videos planned, and I now have a place where I can like fully showcase my creativeness, you know, like I have a creative space now, and it's just my own place, you know, and I'm super excited about it. I've got my bookshelves. It's great. It's a great time. It's a great time. This is gonna be a little winter wrap up since I didn't do one in December, and I didn't even read that many books in December to kind of like fully make a video about, I feel like. And then January, I've read quite a couple, but not that many. Still, I'm getting back into the groove of things. I'm hoping I can get down like a schedule and just start reading a lot more because I do miss it. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks. Let's get into my little winter wrap up, shall we? I think we shall. Alright, so the first book I listened to in December was Nothing to See Here by Kevin Wilson. And I might have talked about this in my November wrap up because it was like right at the end of November, beginning of December, so I'm not sure. But I gave this book like a 4 stars. I think maybe like a 3.75, but I usually round up, so it says 4 stars on Goodreads. I thought it wrapped up slightly a little too quickly, so that's why I'm bringing it down a little bit, but overall it was a great reading experience. I really enjoyed listening to it. I thought the author was so good at like describing personalities and like the kids. It was just a different book. If you don't know what this is about, it has to deal with these two kids who light up on fire. And then the main character ends up in a situation where she has to take care of them. And I thought it was just a really good book. I wish it had been longer, like 100 pages more, and it would have been perfect. But it was just a tad bit too short. Other than that, it was great. It was funny, and it was really good to listen to. And I really liked it. It's been almost 2 months, so sorry if I don't say a lot more about these books. Then in December, I read How to Change Your Mind, What the New Science of Psychedelics Teaches Us About Consciousness, Dying, Addiction, Depression, and Transcendence by Michael Pollan. I gave this 5 stars. I thought this was really, really good, and it was very informative. If you're looking for like a scientific journal or like super scientific stuff, I don't think this is for you, because it's not that. Like, I've seen a couple of the reviews on Goodreads where they were like, this wasn't scientific at all. But I think it was for someone who's like not a scientist. It gives you a pretty good introduction to the history of the science of psychedelics and just how we've ended up in America where like psychedelics are such taboo, and how in America they used to not be. Like, the government used to fund researches, and I thought it was just very educational and it was very good. And honestly, it made me cry because it talks about love, life, and death. And I think the way it talks about it portrays a lot of our fears. It felt like a very human book to me. It felt like, wow, I'm not the only one who worries about this, and how we all do worry about certain things and how we deal with that. So I started reading it, and that to me dragged out a little bit. Like, sentences are very run-on, they're very long, and that was kind of hard for me sometimes, so I really enjoyed listening to it. So I would recommend listening to it. Then I read In the Holidays by Christina Lauren, and this was such a fun book to read. I know not a lot of people have liked it, and I don't think it's a book for everyone. Like, it's not like Take Aunt Danny Brown or Get a Life Chloe Brown level of romance, but it was so heartwarming. In the Holidays is about like a Groundhog Day situation, and she's in a family cabin, like family friends cabin, and they go there every year, and there's a guy she likes in it. Yeah, that's what it's about. It's just what I needed during the holidays, especially since my Christmas was spent packing and I didn't really get the full like Christmas experience this year. And it was just fun. It was really fun. I remember I like drove all the way to my college town and I was really tired, and then at night I just like locked myself in the bathroom and read it because, I don't know, it was just cute. It's my boyfriend. But yeah, it was really fun. Everyone says the ending was really cheesy, and I agree. I thought the ending was a little too much, but the overall experience was just fun and funny, and like, it just takes your mind off things. And it was a very holiday-ish book, so maybe next year, if you want to read it, I would say go for it. And yeah, I gave it 4 stars. Then I read a book that really took me by surprise on like how much I loved it. Oh, I have In the Holidays here. Oh, you can kind of see it. Not really. I don't really want to take it out. Oh, right now. Hi. Then I read a book that really took me by surprise with how much I liked it and how much it stuck with me, and that is The Rules of Magic by Alice Hoffman. My aunt, as a gift, got me, where is it? Magic Lessons, but I kind of felt like I wanted to read some of her older work before I read that. So I listened to The Rules of Magic, and it was so good to listen to. I don't think I would have loved it as much if I had read it, because I think I would have like gotten tired of reading it. The listening experience was just amazing. I loved growing with these characters. So this book follows 3 siblings who have magic, and you're literally just following their lives and all their tragedies, and there's a curse on their family that they can't fall in love. So it kind of just, you know, follows their life throughout that, and it was so beautiful. I will say that I cried like throughout the entirety of this book. Like I don't think there was an hour where I wasn't like crying, and I was like, I listened to this while driving for like 6 hours, and I was just like crying, but it was so fun. It was so good. It was very beautifully written, so beautiful, and I honestly think about it so much. Like, I think about these characters. I didn't want to leave them, so I would totally say read it. read it, read it. It was just so beautiful, and I gave it 4 stars. So I'm super excited to read other Alice Hoffman books. So we'll see how that ends up going. Alright, so those were the 4 books I read in December, and now we're going to talk about the books I've read in January. So first book I read, here, I'll actually get this one out because it should just be here. First book I read in January was This Is How You Lose the Time War by Max Gladstone and Amal and Motar. This was an experience. I already knew when I was getting into this that it was a book not everyone liked, and it was a book that a lot of people were disappointed and confused by. But that attracted me to it, you know, that really did. Because I tend to like flowery writing, I tend to like pretty writing. That's something that doesn't like necessarily put me off from a book. And I picked this up because Carrie from Carrie Can Read had highly recommended it. And I think we have similar reading tastes. And it was so good. At first, it was a little slow and a little confusing, but you just have to push through it, and you have to be aware that it's going to be confusing. Like, you can't pretend to understand everything. It's like a book where it's like I'm along for the ride, if that makes sense. It was so beautiful. I cried, and it ended so well too. Like, I just loved how it ended. But it basically follows 2 agents who travel time, and they work for these 2 agencies where basically like they send the agents to a certain time because it'll have like a tiny impact in the future. Like, literally taking care of a baby or killing a baby will like impact thousands of years in the future. I don't know, they never really explain like what the end goal is. There isn't like a lot of world building, if that makes sense. You're kind of just following the characters in this very weird timeline world thing. But basically there's 2 agents who've never really met each other, maybe a couple times, and they start writing to each other in the most obscure ways. Like, one of them leaves like bee stings, and once you're stung by the bee, you see the letter, something like that. I might be making that up, but it's like weird stuff like that. And they end up falling in love throughout all these years, and you're just following their story. There's so much longing and pain and beautifulness in this book. I really think it's like an experimental book, and it was just super fun. It was really fun. It was great. It was great. It was great. I gave it 4 stars. I brought 1 star down because I do think like the confusion can get a little bit too much sometimes. Like, it would have been super cool if we could have understood the agencies or what the end goal was. But you get the idea, and like, it was still great. So yeah. Why am I repeating myself so much? Then after I read that was the only physical book I read this month. And In the Holidays was the only physical book I read during December. Oh my god, oops. Then after that, I read The Girl Who Kicked the Hornet's Nest by Larson. I don't know, bro. And I gave this 5 stars. I think you guys might know, but I really like this series. I've listened to it all, and it's just been a great listening experience. I think it's so well written. I love how everything comes together, and it was great. 5 out of 5 stars. If you don't know, this is the 3rd book. The first one is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and it's just like mystery, journalism, crime, politics in Sweden. It's really cool. Listen to it. I don't have a lot to say except that I just love the characters, and it was just fun. I listened to The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. If you saw my Latinx-a-thon, like TBR, this was one of them, so I'm really happy that I finally got to read it, and I really loved this. I feel like I read it at a time in my life where I really needed it. Given with all my injuries and all that, I was feeling very frustrated about not being able to film, not being able to like decorate my apartment, and just not being able to do things. So I think this book really reminded me of patience, and like, just, it's all a journey, you know? I don't have to do everything right when I want to do it. I just like have to wait it out. So this was super great. Read it. I don't want to like say too much what it's about, except that it's just like a journey book, kind of. But yeah, read it. This is Tiana's favorite book, and she's been telling me for a while to read it. So I'm super happy I read it because now I understand why it's her favorite book. And I literally want to get like this sun and this moon tatted on me. And I think I will. I gave The Alchemist 4 stars. I thought the ending wrapped up a little bit too fast. I think that's something that it's pretty consistent with when I give 4 stars. Like, usually it's like they finish too fast for me and I want to know more. So yeah, that was why. Next I read Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I don't know. But I gave it 4 stars. It was so fun. I'm sure everyone knows what this book is about, but it basically follows like a famous band from the 70s, a fictional famous band from the 70s, and all the drama that goes into it. And I freaking loved it because I'm sure you guys went through this too, but you know, like during high school when you were obsessed with bands like Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, Sex Pistols, like I just loved learning all the drama. I loved learning about the tours and all that, so it was just really fun to be able to like relive that with a fake band. I want to read more books like this. If you know of any more books like this, let me know. It also made me really excited to pick up The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by the same author. I started with Daisy Jones because I thought like I've heard The Seven Husbands is better, so I wanted to start with the other one and see if I liked it, and I really did enjoy it. Again, I thought it ended a little too... I liked the ending, I just thought it should have been... I thought certain things should have been fleshed out more. I feel like the first half of the book was super fleshed out. Was like very detailed, you know, and they really went into the characters' personalities and how they came about to be in the band. But then the second half kind of felt a little rushed and didn't feel like it went as in depth. Like I personally didn't see, kind of spoilers, so skip if you don't want to. I personally didn't see like Billy's and Daisy's love as the way it was described. Like I thought I needed to see it develop a little bit more to fully believe that love that they have. But I still really enjoyed it. It made me cry and I loved it. I just loved it. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. It was a fun listening experience. Definitely listen to this in audiobook format. That's it for my past like winter reading. It's not the winter I thought I was gonna have with reading. I thought I was gonna read so much, but it's okay. Yeah, no, I am super excited for this new chapter in my new apartment and to kind of tag you guys along with it. You guys will see the decoration stuff happen kind of. And yeah, I'm just super excited to be able to film cool new things. So yeah, if you like me, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more. Comment down below if you've read any of these or you want to be reading any of these. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. Goodbye. That was awkward. Okay, goodbye.